Hey guys, Wayne here, and today in Wayne's Kitchen, I'm going to be making some meatloaf. Now, meatloaf is one of the ultimate comfort foods, and there's many ways to make it, so I'm going to show you my way to make it. Now remember, this is not a how-to video, this is how I do it. Feel free to do it your own way, but this is the way I do it, so let's get started. What you'll need for my recipe is a half a cup of saltine crackers, half a cup of chopped up onion, a quarter teaspoon of margarine, and a teaspoon of salt, and 2 beaten eggs. And of course, you're going to need some ground beef. Okay, so what I want to do first is I want to put my eggs in a bowl and then just beat them. Now, you don't want to pulverize them, but you do want to beat them pretty good. Just get them beat up there. Alright, we've got our ground beef. This is about close to 2 pounds. Probably not quite 2 pounds, but it's close to it. So this is what we're going to use. Just go ahead and dump all your ingredients in. Once you have all your ingredients in, you really want to get in there. Just get in there with your hands and mix it all up. One thing I forgot to mention in the ingredients was a quarter cup of ketchup. I apologize for that. I kind of looked over it in my recipe and I knew something was missing, but I couldn't quite place it. So a quarter cup of ketchup goes in, and then it'll come back out of the oven. We'll put a little bit on the top and then put it back in the oven. So, okay, after you get it all mixed up, get you a loaf pan and a piece of wax paper and form it inside that loaf pan. Now you may ask, wax paper is going to melt, isn't it? Yes, it is, but we're not going to use this in the oven. What we're going to do is use this to shape it. Then take your mold and really mold it in there. Smash it down, get it molded in there. Turn it out onto a baking sheet, or I'm using a pizza round, but it doesn't really matter. Turn it out. Should fall right out with that wax paper. Then all you have to do is peel it right off. And now that baby's ready to go into the oven. Now what you want to do is bake this 350 degrees for 40 minutes. Okay, the 40 minutes is up, so what we're going to do is add a little bit of ketchup to the top. You can say about another quarter cup or so. Basically, this part right here is your preference. And then I take just a butter knife and I smear it across. I don't know if you can see this in the camera or not, but this is the reason I don't leave it in the loaf pan. See all that fat and grease? If you were to cook that in the loaf pan, it would be sitting right in the middle of all that grease and fat, and you don't need any of that extra stuff. So what I do is put it on a sheet like this, and that way it has room for that stuff to go out. So I'm going to pour this off, and then I'm going to put this back into the oven for another 20 minutes. Okay, it is out of the oven and it looks and smells amazing. I have let it sit out here for probably about 10 minutes to let the meat rest. Now what I'm going to do is just portion it out, and we're going to move on to the taste test. Okay, let's give it the old taste test and see what we've got. Still pretty warm. That's really good. There's something about meatloaf. You know, as a kid, I didn't like it for some reason. As an adult, I love it. Man, that is finer than a frog hair split 4 ways. One more bite. I gotta have another bite. That is fantastic. That is how I make meatloaf. So, use my recipe, add on it, take away from it, do whatever you want, but make sure you make some meatloaf because that is an awesome comfort food. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.